This is amazing. This is, I think, genuinely my favourite meal in the whole world. Every time we eat it, I can't pronounce the Korean for it. Ganzanggyeranbab. Ganzanggyeranbab. It's just really warming food.
Yeah. What do you mean warming food?
It makes, I don't know, it's like, it makes you like, it's just what you crave. I think how Italians feel about pasta is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
And I think I guess at home, we probably have the roast dinner, and that's the closest thing to it, where it's like, it feels like, we say it feels like a hug on a plate, or a hug in a mug, because it's just like, it's everything you want to eat, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's just because it's really like, I don't know, it's really like humble though, isn't it? Because it's just really simple. It's literally just 4 ingredients, I guess. If you count oil, then like 4 or 5 ingredients. It's quick, really cheap, it's really easy. It's kind of, you still have like carbohydrates and protein, so it has like a little bit of nutritional value. You can put like any vegetables you've got in there, so we've got like mushrooms and stuff that we'd already put in. And it's amazing, it's like a vegetarian dish as well. I feel like the reason I'm really interested in Korean food is because it doesn't really get like the exposure that the kind of Asian foods get as well. The West just kind of groups together like Asian food as one thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really pay tribute to how diverse each kind of state in Asia is and how diverse their cuisine is. So you look at like Korea, and then most people will probably know is like they've tried kimchi before and eat it as like a health food, like a probiotic kind of thing. But they just buy like supermarket kimchi and it's kind of trash a lot of the time. No one really thinks about like the elements of it, you know, and how many fermented foods there are in Korea generally. I think that people know more about like regional cuisines within Europe, but they don't really care about kind of cuisines within parts of Asia. Or so people can list like 10 different pasta types. Even you were like, oh, I really want to eat penne, like a specific type of pasta, but I wouldn't be able to say like, I really want this particular Korean dish or this variety of like temple kimchi or whatnot. It's strange that people know so little about it. Maybe a little bit of racism as well. Grouping Asia together as one cuisine is kind of reductive. People do the same with Indian food as well, you know, so it's, even though it's also really diverse. But you travel in, for example, like in China as well, you travel just a little bit, you travel like an hour, and then the cuisine is completely different. The way that people prepare it is completely different. The ingredients are different because they're local. So yeah, I think it's sometimes maybe a little bit harder to understand.
Yeah.
And there's some things which are really approachable, like Ganzanggyeranbab. It's like it's a really approachable dish, I think, because it's not normally too hot. I think a lot of Korean food is it's pretty spicy as well, for the most part. It's probably a little bit too spicy for like a Western palate. Sometimes that kind of textural variety as well is a little bit unusual, because in England it's like, a lot of the time it's like steamed or roasted vegetables, and they kind of have to be like crunchy, or they have to be like boiled past the point of kind of enjoyment. So I don't know, I think it's more interesting. It's just so much more variety, you know. But I don't know. But
Yeah, what's the most famous English dish?
most famous English dish is probably, well, apparently the national dish of England is chicken tikka masala, which is kind of like a bastardization of an Indian dish. And it was a curry before that was. The story goes that it was a taxi driver in England, in the north, who ordered one. Who ordered a curry in a curry house, and then for a takeaway, and it was too hot. He said it was too hot, so they just put more tomatoes in it for them. So yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? But so it's the most eaten dish in the whole of England. So it's quite funny.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And still people know so little about Indian food, for example. So it's mad to me that.
Oh really?
People don't really, because people just like have the thing that they like. They know like naan bread and like a couple of different types of rice, but considering how much it's eaten, people know so little about it. And I think there's kind of, to me, I think there's a bit of an ignorance to like cuisine, which is a little bit intimidating or whatnot. So, I don't know. It's weird though, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, it's weird.